So you want to create a Mirror's Edge style city? Hey guys, welcome back to TutsByKai. I'm Kai, and today we are back in Blender once again, taking a look at how to create a Mirror's Edge type of city with all the white and then the red building. I love Mirror's Edge personally. I've loved it ever since the original Mirror's Edge came out. I did love Catalyst too, but the original always is close to my heart. I'm going to open up my right hand side panel here first and go to view and then turn lock camera to view on, then hit 0 on my numpad to move the camera around where I want it. I'm going to zoom out and scroll my mouse wheel a little bit, and we're just going to do something like this to create a big old vast open city, and then we'll uncheck lock camera to view, and then we'll just close that. Alright, now for the lamp, I want to go ahead and hit G to move it up here out of the camera's view, and then we'll just go to the light tab here and go to sun, change it to sun. Now in the render viewport shading, you see it looks like this. I do want to change the background color to, of course, none other than white, and then of course we'll go to the scene tab, go to color management, and change this from filmic to default so it is actually white. Now for the cubes, we're going to use default cube. I'm going to hit S to scale them up though, and then we'll hit G to move it over, SZ to scale them upwards, and now we have something that's starting to look like a Mirror's Edge type of city. And then hit Shift D to duplicate this and move it way down here. And then I want to hit RZ to rotate it that way so that it's kind of going the opposite direction of the other lamp. Change the strength down to maybe 100, maybe 50, maybe 20, maybe 10. We'll change it to 10, and we'll give it a very slightly bluish color. Now with this default cube, his material has a little bit of specular on it, which I don't want. So we'll go to default cube, and on the material that he has, I'm going to turn specular all the way off, and I'm going to turn roughness all the way up. So now we have default cube with no shine at all, which is what I want. So we go back into our camera's view here, hit Shift D to duplicate Mr. Default Cube, and I'll just add in a couple more buildings all around here. Now if you're familiar with Mirror's Edge, there's a lot of buildings here in very small areas, so I want to go ahead and actually hit S to scale these down because these are too big already. And then we'll just go ahead and go up to the top view and hit by hitting 7 on my numpad, and then we'll just move these around to places where I want them. We won't worry about height or distance or tallness at the moment. We'll just go ahead and duplicate all of these, and then I'll hit B to box select these, and then we'll hit Shift D to duplicate them. So we'll just duplicate these over, and I'll just kind of move around the ones that are kind of looking finicky. And then we'll just hit C to go into brush select, and we'll just grab a couple of these randomly, right? Just try and get onesies or maybe twos at the same time, something like that. Right click to cancel the to stop the brush tool, then hit SZ to scale them up, double tap A to deselect everything, then C, and we'll just grab some random buildings here. I just want them to be as random as possible. It's like changing velocities in music. We'll go ahead and hit SZ, scale them maybe down this time. Now I want to go ahead and make one building extremely tall, so like this guy, or maybe not that guy, maybe this guy. Hitting SZ on the camera's view, and I want to change what the camera looks like. So we'll go lock camera to view again, and we'll kind of move it like this, and I think that looks pretty good. Lock camera to view, check that, uncheck it. Now we'll go ahead and select this guy. Now the camera, as you can see, is clipping off this building right here. Let me go to the camera right there and change the clip end to from 100 to like a trillion, whatever. This super tall building, I'll hit this 144, whatever numbers right there, and we'll just title this red, and I'll just change the base color to a red color. Now the reason it still looks kind of white is because we have that super bright lamp on it. So let me go ahead and see if I can find that lamp by turn my overlays back on, selecting that lamp and turning it from 1000 to 100, maybe even less than that, maybe 10, maybe 5. Yeah, 5. Alright, so with that red building, I want to make it more red instead of blood orange. There we go. Red, just like Mirror's Edge. Bum, 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 bum. Hit Shift A to add in a mesh plane, and hit S just to scale it up. And we'll just hit S to scale. We'll hit RZ, sorry, to scale it on the to rotate it. Then hit G Z to move it down. S to scale it up because I want all of that to be white back there. Now the background, I want to tone that down just a little bit, so we have a little bit more whiteness. Actually, I think I want to change my mind. I want shadows for this lamp here, you can see we do have some shading going on, which looks nice, but the camera's not picking it up because in the camera tab here, I want to go ahead and turn bloom on, but we need to change the settings. We'll turn the radius down, we'll turn the intensity down a little bit, and the threshold down a little bit. And we'll change this color from white to like a, we'll leave it on white, never mind. Well, yeah, we'll leave that on white there. With our plane, I want to go ahead and add in a new material. And I'll turn specular all the way up and roughness all the way down. And the reason the shadows weren't showing up before is because the end frame for the clip, it was way too high. So I think we should just go with maybe 10,000 because all those zeros were ridiculous. And for the second light, the second lamp, this guy right here, shadow is not on, which is good because I don't want it to be on because it looks like that when it does. And for the strength, I want to turn the strength down a little bit, but I do want the separation. So instead of making that blue, I'll leave it back. I'll turn it back to white, and I'll turn the strength up just a little bit so we have the edges on all of the other buildings, which I think looks pretty cool. And then shadow is unnecessary at that point. So there we go. There we go. That looks pretty good. And for ambient occlusion, we can do ambient occlusion, turn the distance up a little bit. There we go. To maybe about 5. 5 looks pretty good. A lot of more separation. Looks much better. There we go. So it looks pretty sweet. Now I want to, perhaps, we can actually turn this. I don't think film is going to look too great. It's going to make everything look yellow. Yeah, there we go. Actually, film it looks pretty good. Film looks pretty good. The default does look good. Looks really very Mirror's Edge-like, but I think I like the filmic. I don't know. Maybe turn the gamma up just a little bit. And the exposure, the gamma down. Maybe. A little bit more contrast in there. Turn the exposure up. Of course, because you know Mirror's Edge is all about the white. So I'll hide the lamp for a second, and this lamp as well, and also the plane. So hit H to hide all of that stuff, and then B to box select all of these pieces here, and then I'll just hit Shift D to duplicate it, and then hit X to move it over, and then GY to move it back, and then I'll just rotate it by RZ, and kind of get this in a place where I want it. Hit S to scale it down maybe a little bit, and move it over. Let's select the camera, go to check depth of field, make sure that's on, and then go to solid viewport shading so I can see what I'm doing here, and then turn my overlays back on. And now with the camera, you can see we have a limit. If we turn limits on, you can see we have the focus distance right there. I want to go ahead and push it all the way out until it's about right there on the first city, and then hit 0 to go back into the camera's view. Go back to rendered viewport shading and turn the f-stop way down. Oh, and by the way, I'm going ahead and moving the lamp back here so we can get all of the light on even the ones that are over this direction. And I'm also going to go ahead and have to change the clip end so that I push it all the way up so it gets all those buildings in there. So about 81 for me. Looks pretty cool. I hope you boys and girls enjoyed today's video. But yeah, so that is it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. But until then, bye-bye.